Hi all, welcome to Workato Masterclass Series. Today we are going to see a practical way of using API platform. Hope you guys are very excited to learn API platform in a practical way, that is doing a hands-on. The first will be like how to use a trigger point in a hazard for API and the following by actions followed by how to send a response back to the requester, right? Before we move into our hands-on session, we'll see what we have learned in the previous session. Hope you guys remember that we have learned about API platform overview, right? So we have seen how to configure API endpoint, how to use API clients that for the authorizations, and we have seen that as API policies to be applied for the clients, or like the rate limit to be handled, right? And also we see how to create a basic recipe to be used by the API, right? So let's go into our today's session, right? That is API platform dev. That is like hands-on session. So what all things we are going to cover? So why we are going for API platform? That is like what is will be the trigger point, first thing. And second thing is action. That is like decision making things, right? And third one will be seeing as sending responses to requester. That is responses can be a success or can be failure or either of things, right? So hence I've just used a responses since to understand, make you that involves success and failure responses. But we'll be sending only send one responses at a time. That's all. Cannot send two responses in single go. Okay. And finally, we'll see error handling. Okay. Let's go there and we'll see our hands-on how to use those. Okay. So hope you all remember what we have built in the previous session. But let's have a quick recap that what we have used as a part of the API collection, right? So when we go to here, the endpoint, let me tell you that I have changed the endpoint. Instead of get, I've just made it to post. That can be done in the, you have to go to just click on this particular, the endpoint and go to settings. And there you have options to change the HTTP method. Okay. First, you have to go where? Go to the details. Like, let me go to the API collections again back. Just click on the API collections. Click on the endpoint. Okay. Then go to settings. There you have option to select the HTTP method. Like get, post, put, patch, delete. Okay. So I guess hope you all know what all the difference between post, put, get, patch, and delete, right? If you don't know, please let me know in the comments. I'll be taking that particular comments as a session for the next upcoming sessions. We'll be taking that as a separate session to understand what all the HTTP methods and what all difference, what all the difference between them. Okay. So endpoints, have created that. Like I'm giving a meaningful name for the endpoint, and the endpoint is for the users. So I'll be creating the users details, right? So the timeout default will be like 30 seconds, but I'm not making any changes to that. So let's go back to our API collections, okay? And also we have created a clients, right? So for the particular collections, we have selected a POC clients as our access profile, and we have created authentication as the auth token, and also we attached a policy tab. The policy is related to what? I guess you'll all remember that, right? So it's about the rate limit per hour and the usage quota, like per 60 days, how many number of requests can be taken care by the access profiles, or maybe the per profile, how many limits are there. Okay, we can set that. Okay, so I'll just cancel it. I'll not save anything because I don't want to change anything. Okay. So I guess these are the things we have did. Now we'll go back to our the API collections, and I'll show you how can we come to this particular recipe through via API platform. Okay, so just click on this your API endpoint, that is like through API collections, and click on the endpoint, and you can see here view recipe, right? So I just cancel this and just click on the view recipe. Okay. Now we'll build few things, okay, in this particular recipe. So here the trigger point is, what is that? It is a API request, right? So trigger will be API. So we have to create what? Now if you see the request is, I'll just create a request symbol, okay? Instead of this, I'll just create names. Sorry, names, okay. I'll give this as list, okay, list of, okay, and then I'll add here name, just as name, okay. I hope I'm making sense to you that we are creating a list of names to be compared. Okay, this is a basically the request schema. Okay, I'll not create any response here, but response headers or something. I'll just create a responses like success or failure and status message. And second response will be what? Failure, right? I have to create a failure. This will be success, and second will be what? Failure. So failure will be what? I just give a 400 bad request or something. It's not particularly can be a 400 bad request. You can select appropriately your HTTP code, like whatever you want to send a response back. Say example, there'll be maybe kind of 500 or server at 408, like 408 we have, right? I think we should have 408. Let's see. Yeah, see here, 408 is like a request timeout, or say example, 409 is a conflicts. So these are things will be available for you, or you can create, say, these are the HTTP code we can select from here, or standard response, or you can select a custom response. Say example, out of this particular response, standard response, you can select, say, till 208 we have. 209 we don't have, right? So you can create a custom response that's 209 as your response and send it back, okay? So, and I'll fill as status. So please do remember that it's not necessary to keep the HTTP a standard response code. It's up to you. How do you want to use it? So you can select either standard response, or you can select a custom response. Okay. Custom. If you select a custom response, you have to keep your own code apart from the HTTP status code, which is like already built. Because since it's not make any sense, right? If you use the 200 as something else instead of which already there, you can use the same thing, right? Say standard response says like 200 is okay, right? So again, you are making a custom response and saying that 200 is okay, then why you want to do custom response? Because it's already available, right? The response is already available as a part of our standard response. So if you're going for the custom response, always use the codes which are not a part of a standard response, so that it gives you extra flexibility to add your own response code as well as a response message. Okay. Now what I'll do here is I'll just go for repeat each. Okay, first I'll select what I have to do. What I have to do, handle errors, right? Without that, our recipe not be complete, right? Always remember you should have a monitor and cache block, that is like to monitor and do not retry those blocks. That's basically try and catch block. So what I will do now is I'll do first is if name is present, right? So say example, if I not send any empty, if I send an empty response is an empty array list, that means I don't have any names. So why should I iterate that, right? I can stop here itself. If present, then go for what? Loop, right? I have to loop it. Every names. Loop at each, repeat each the names, go for names, and I'll go for the list. I'm creating you a list here, add list, but I have to create before that, I have to create what? List, right? If name is present, then only create list. Why you want to create again, right? So I'll create a list here. There'll be names list, okay? And I'll be giving names. Okay, name, that's all. Give it, okay? So we'll give name. I'll just edit this and make it as optional, yes. Since I don't have any name will be present at the first third step, since I'm checking the condition that names are present or not. Then I'm creating a list that is empty list. Then I'm looping to the for each if it's a present, since it's a third condition is met, so that we confirm that names are present, right? Then I'll select the name list here and I'll go for the selecting the optional field. So I don't want to add anything here. See, instead of looping also, right, I don't want to loop anything because since it's a list, I can directly add. So one way of, I'll just show you the one way of adding it, okay? And I'll show you the next case, how to avoid for each, okay? Let's save this now. Once I add it, just send the response, okay? I'll send the response back. Not here, sorry. I have to send before this. If names is present, not present, then I have to send here one second. I'll just remove this. I'll sending the response, correct? So just type response. Just type API. Select the API. Then select failure, right? Fail. Just type fail and send your error message. Okay. So now in this case, it's success, right? So I'll send it that actions API and select as response as success and just type successfully processed. Okay. Successfully processed a request. It's applied successfully. Okay. So I'll just save it. I think, hope you have understood. So I'll just recap everything from the starting. So here I defined the API request. Then I'll followed by I just added a monitor block so that I'll be catching any errors comes into this monitor block. I'll be safely navigate that. So so that appropriate message can be sent back to the requester. So I'll just check. So say for send, I'll be checking the names is present or not, first thing. Then I'll creating the list, empty list, with the list schema as contains name as a field. Okay. Then I'm looping to the for each of our names. Then I'm adding the names to the list. Okay. So you can ask why we have not added the list name inside here, right? So directly we can use this particular thing as a name and we can add it, right? So, but I'll tell you the reason behind that, why we are not added, since we are looping through the names. So we always know when index 0 comes, it adds the zeroth name. And when it is adding the second name, if it has the index as 1, 2, 3, it accordingly will add the name corresponding to that index. Okay. So hence I not added the list here again. So hope I'm making sense to you, because if you have any questions or any doubts on this case, if you felt I've not covered it, please do comment there, okay, at the comment box. So what we'll do now, I'll just start the recipe, okay. Now, if you see, go back to endpoint. Now, if we click on the test request, you can see here, the schema is already built here. So I'll take this schema, okay. Either you can test via this particular UI, that means like platform, that is which is given by the Workato itself, or you can use your own tool, okay. So for now, I'll just show you how to use the Workato provided by the UI provided by the Workato. How to use that? Okay, I'll show. Say name is Shiva. Then I'll again use one more name. Okay. So this is Anand. So I'll give one more name. Okay. So one more name. So I'll show you what is the use of this platform, which is the UI given by the Workato. You can use. It will be integrated with your both API creations, API testing, everything you can see in the in a one shot. Okay, you can use. You can see the response as well here. So it's one shot. So it's a kind of a inbuilt tool to test your API endpoint, like Postman, or you can have HTTP. Like these are the external tools which you can use your to test your API. Okay, name I'll give as okay. So these are the four names I'm just taking. Okay. Uh, these are my friend's name, so which I'm using. It's only a part of my friend's name, so I'm not using any other friend's name. Would be kind of bulk records. So I'm just sending four names now as I execute. Okay. So you can see here the request sent. Okay. Now you can see the response successfully processed. You can see here now it's so. But for the sake of showing you in the API, just select, just refresh your page, the recipe page, so that you can see here, see 3:26 a.m. That is like it's a PST timing. So go to that particular job and you can see here. Now the third point is already validated. That is condition true. So I have a list, names list. So it's going to the each name of that and adding to the list. So what I have inside the list is 4, right? So I have 4 names here. You can see here. The last, it always shows you the last name in your list adding, but the output you can select 4, right? So these are the now how many names we have passed. Those many numbers will be the your list size. The example 4 I've sent, I will be the 4 will be my list size. So okay, now I'll go again edit the recipe as I promised to show you how to add without a for each, right? Since I'm adding in the pouch, just click on this particular, go to here, just remove this, or just skip it instead of remove it. So go to the add list, item list. Now you have to select your source list. What the source list will be? Like I have to take it from where? To take it from API, correct? If it is there. Otherwise, what? It'll be that anyway, let me or be passed through, because since the third step is what do you call the barrier for this two following steps we run. So hence I'm making a safe move here to understand whether names are coming out. Okay, let's see. Now I have added here. So how this will save me the sixth step which I've added like before, that is for each for loop to the names and adding it to the list. Okay, save it. So one more way of doing a test is like you can just rerun this particular job instead of again doing the retesting. Okay, just repeat this job. You understand whether we get a same set of number of names or not. Okay. Yeah. So see, successful. So now you can see the names size will be like what? Say size is 4, right? So you can see now. So all the 4 names, right? Since the for each always gives you the last index, the name, what are the index, say index 3, right? 0, 1, 2, 3. The third index is my name. What was the name which I signed is a Akshay, right? Akshay was the name which we sent as the third index, right? So hence it was showing us basically the Akshay as the last index. But whereas when we adding using the API directly through like using the patch list, or just adding the source list as a API names, whatever the request coming from the API, and directly adding the names to or from that, right? Since I saved looping through the looping so many times, like 4 times it will run, right? 4 names are there, 4 times it will run. So instead of it will run only one, and it gives the added to the list accordingly. So if you see here, task is used is 3, right? So if you see the last previous one, I can show you how many tasks it took. Task is what? 6. Means we saved 3 more tasks. 3 tasks we saved compared to our previous recipe creations, right? So this is how we can think about using variables as a patch and adding it to that from the source. If you have a list, it's coming right? So hope you guys understood how to use API endpoint. This is a part of post, but I can give you the scenario where you can do say like put. Okay, so what you have to do is, suppose say you have already have a say example endpoint, API endpoint, which you own one, or maybe anything like whatever the companies which you're using, or you have any API collections you're using. So go to that and do one thing is like do get operations or use put operations. So to make you understand, that is how to use those HTTP methods easily, right? So today I have shown you like post methods. Suppose you really required those like get, put, uh, patch, delete, these methods to be make you understand from my side, from our side, basically, that I can also do that. So please do comment out and we'll see. And we take that particular as comment very seriously, and we'll make a video out of that and share across to you. So that we can learn that particular method as well through API. Okay. So let's go back to the presentation part now. Okay. Now it's a quiz time. I guess I hope you have learned about API platform, how to use practically in our using recipes, right? So the first question is, which of the following features is commonly offered by Workato's API platform? Real-time data synchronization across multiple systems. Second is automatically writing a blog post based on the given topics, creating a video tutorials for software products, and managing user permissions for cloud storage services. Sorry. Yeah. I guess it's everyone answer this because it's a very, you can just make an order out and get the answers, right? So I guess it's a real-time data synchronization across multiple systems. The second question is, what is one major benefit of using Workato's API management for business? The options goes like this. It replaces the need for customer support representatives. It eliminates the need for any form of data security. It allows for scalable integration solutions that grow with the business. It automatically increases website traffic. So I guess you can play very smartly here, removing the odd one out and selecting the appropriate solution, our appropriate options from based on the questions, right? Hope you guys, I think, answer this as well. So without wasting time, I'll just give you the answer. So answer is C, that is, it allows a scalable integration solution that grows with a business. So the last question is, how does Workato's API platform enhance security when connecting different applications? Options are by automatically creating and encrypting all outgoing emails, by using Auth 2.0 and other authentications method to secure API connections. Third option is by limiting the number of API calls to 10 per day. The fourth options are by creating fake data to protect real information. I guess it's a very straightforward question basically to understand the security wise of a API, how to use that. So I guess everyone answer this. I'll give you the answer. Yeah, that's correct. By using Auth 2.0 or other authentications method to secure API connections. In our case, we used Auth token, if you remember, right? So it's a kind of just we have to select that and do that. Okay. So hope you guys enjoyed this particular session. Whatever we have learned about so far, it's related to API platform and the post operations. And one more thing, guys, want to give you on heads up on. Yeah, one more thing I want to discuss before I end our session, that is using a external tool. That is, I'm using here HTTP pipe, right? So this basically is similar to the Postman. We can use as Postman. If you are familiar with the Postman, you can use that. So how can we use that particular tool in this tool to uh, hit our API? Okay, I'll show you that as well. So first thing is you have to just see here. This is how it looks. So you have to give the post method, which I'm selecting, which we have configured there, and you have to give authorizations. It is API token. This is the header, and if you see here, I'm using basic auth here, right? So and the token number. Okay, the token which is generated in the your API client, that has to be used. Okay, and the body, I'm using this name, but I have to change it now because I'm selecting what, the list, right? So let's go back to the API endpoint. I'll just select the same thing. I'll just copy this, go back to this, and Control V. So I'll just change the name now. Okay. Okay. So just select. Okay. Just select this one. Okay. So these are 4 name I just selected randomly, and if you see now, I'll just select. I just say send. Okay. Okay. I think she says say endpoint recipe is not running. Means I'm getting that is recipe is not running. I just start the recipe now. Yeah, it started, right? So I'll just send the request. See, it says successfully processed. Now go back to your job. We would have got received a request from the HTTP pipe, right? That's the external tool. So let's see what all names we got. Right, 4 names we sent, and we received same thing. Correct. So this is all. I guess we provided you enough information about how to go with the estate API platforms and how to use that in the AI recipes and how to build that and how to use list instead of going for the for loop. And finally, we are showing how to send the responses and error handling, right? So this ends the session here. We'll see you in the next session. Until then, take care and keep learning.